10 years from now, one number could define whether India actually became a semiconductor power or just talked about becoming one. Today, a new report has put that number on the table. But before we get into the details, which I believe are very, very interesting, I would request you to please put something on the table, which is your effort to like, share, subscribe. Always helps us. Thank you so much for your support. Now, according to a new Fab Economics report, India's semiconductor market could surge from an estimated $54 billion in 2026 to $350 billion by 2035. That's honestly way more than incremental growth. That's more like a market which is multiplying nearly sevenfold in under a decade, just 9 years. But there is, of course, a catch attached to that very number of $350 billion. It doesn't happen on its own. Here's the number beneath the headline number. Now, to actually get there, Fab Economics estimates India will need roughly $80 billion in government incentives through 2035. That's honestly just not one scheme. It's actually 5, all stacked one on top of the other. ISM 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0 worth a combined $40 billion, plus 2 additional packages, ISM 4.0 and 5.0 at $20 billion each. So the message, as you will probably sensed it by now, is quite clear. Ambition alone doesn't build a fab. Sustained government money definitely helps the cause. Now, here's what makes this report different from the usual optimistic forecast. It quantifies exactly how import-dependent India's chip ecosystem still is. Now, according to Fab Economics, imports currently account for more than 85% of the cost of setting up a semiconductor fab and around 50% of water fabrication costs. That's honestly a very uncomfortable baseline. But the report also actually charts a path moving forward. Now, by 2030, fab project import dependence could fall to 68% and wafer fabrication costs to 30%. By 2035, those numbers could actually drop furthermore. Now, to 55% and 18%. Those is what the estimation is, what the report is suggesting. Progress, not so much independence. Now, even at the finish line, India would still be importing over half of its fab building costs. So then, why does Fab Economics believe this growth is achievable right now? And here's probably the answer for it. 3 forces converging all at once. Rapid AI adoption, driving unprecedented chip demand, booming automotive electrification, expanding data center capacity across the country. Now, this isn't just a single industry pulling India's chip demand upward. It's every major growth sector in the economy needing more silicon all at the same time. But hardware and incentives are only, I believe, half the equation. The report also stresses one very uncomfortable requirement, which is India needs to train 4 to 5 lakh people every single year through specialized courses, fabrication labs and ATMP facilities, assembly, testing, marking and packaging. That, I believe, is the unglamorous high-precision work which turns a chip design into an actual working product. Now, without that workforce, which we just highlighted, even fully funded fabs sit idle. And here, of course, is the front page take. This is probably India's chance to move from chip importer to chip manufacturer at a very genuine global scale. The $350 billion number is definitely the prize which one needs to work toward. But the $80 billion in incentives is, according to us, the entry fee to be championing that cause. Now, the question I would like to ask you is this: will India's government sustain that level of support for a full decade, or will short-term incentive cycles undercut the country's own semiconductor ambition? Please do let us know. What are your thoughts in the comments below? This, ladies and gentlemen, is Front Page by the AM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, think AI, think AIM.